Iron deficiency anemia can be a debilitating condition. As you may already know, if you've been diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia, this video is going to help you a lot because I'm going to give you some information in it that you may never have heard before. Iron deficiency anemia is very, very common across the world. More than 1.5 billion people suffer from it. Symptoms include fatigue, weakness, pale skin, shortness of breath, dizziness, pica, which means you have the overwhelming desire to eat dirt or clay or ice, and leg tingling. Those are the most common symptoms. The most common causes of iron deficiency anemia are either just not eating enough iron or not absorbing enough iron, and that's what this video is really going to help you understand, or you're losing blood from your body somewhere that you may or may not know about. So if you're having any of these symptoms, or if you've been diagnosed with iron deficiency anemia, definitely follow up with your doctor to make sure you don't have some occult or hidden bleeding that you're not aware of. But then after you've got that situated, then it's time to worry about, number one, eating enough iron, and number two, absorbing enough iron. That's very, very important. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience, and I'm going to give you what may be your iron deficiency anemia solution. The majority of the iron you eat is absorbed through your duodenum, which is the first part of your small intestine. Most doctors know this. You may or may not have known this. But there is a bell curve distribution for your personal ability to absorb iron from your diet. And it is partly genetic, but it's also partly the food that you're eating or the food that you're not eating. Many doctors think that we all absorb iron the same exact way and in the same exact amount, and that's just not true. Some people are very good at absorbing iron from their diet. Some people are very bad at absorbing iron from their diet. There's a bell curve distribution like this graphic. So most people are right in the middle of this chart. They absorb iron tolerably well. Some people are on one end of the curve and they absorb it very, very well out of their diet. Other people absorb iron very, very poorly from their diet, especially if they're not eating the right kind of iron in their diet. There are two basic kinds of iron you can get from your diet. There's plant-based iron, which is called non-heme iron, and we won't get into what that name means. This is by far the most common iron that everybody around the world gets in their diet. The problem is that there are things in plants called phytic acid, called polyphenols, and called fiber, which can inhibit your absorption of the iron that's contained in the plant-based food. The most common sources of plant-based iron that you've probably been told to eat lots of are spinach, kale, fortified cereals, dried fruit, apricots, raisins, and beans, lentils, soybeans. And then you may have also been told to take an iron supplement or a multivitamin with iron. The problem with plant-based non-heme iron is that we don't absorb a lot of it. None of us do. Even the very best absorbers can only absorb up to 12%, give or take, of the non-heme iron in plant foods. Some of us only absorb 2% of it because of the polyphenols, the phytic acid, and the fiber. And so if you are a poor absorber, you can eat all the spinach and kale and soybean stuff that you want, and you're just not going to get enough iron absorbed into your body that your body can actually use. And the iron found in iron supplements and prescription iron pills are notoriously poorly absorbed, and much of them remain in your gastrointestinal system and wind up in your colon, which leads to the most common side effect of iron supplements and iron prescriptions, which is constipation. So if you've been eating tons of fortified cereals that are supposedly high in iron, and lots of dark green leafy vegetables, which are high in iron, but perhaps you can't absorb them, then what I'm about to talk about next may surprise you, but it also may be the key that unlocks your prison of iron deficiency anemia. The iron found in animal foods like meat and eggs is called heme iron, and it is a different molecular kind of iron than you would find in plants. It is much more absorbable And so even if a animal-based source of iron has less iron than a plant-based source, you're probably still going to get more usable iron from the animal-based source, meat and eggs, than you would get from a plant-based source, because you're able to absorb so much more of the heme iron versus the non-heme iron. Great sources of heme iron in animal-based foods are any liver at all from any animal is going to be a great source of heme iron. A serving of many livers will give you almost a full day supply of the iron that your body actually needs to and can absorb to use to correct your iron deficiency anemia. Other great sources are anchovies and sardines. Any beef, any meat, muscle flesh of an animal is going to be a good source of iron. Some are a little better than others, but if you are one of those people who just can't bring yourself to eat soft, fluffy mammals, which I totally get that, I understand, you can still get great sources of animal-based heme iron from clams, oysters, mussels, any poultry, chicken or turkey or any other poultry is a good source of iron, any seafood whatsoever, and then any egg. Pasture-raised eggs where the chickens or turkey have actually been allowed to go out and eat real chicken and turkey food have better iron and more absorbable iron, but even the cheap eggs from the grocery store, even the cheap canned oysters or clams or mussels, any of these are really good sources of highly absorbable heme iron. Most heme iron is absorbed at a rate from 20 to 40%. And so if you go back to the bell curve, if you're one of those very, very poor absorbers of non-heme iron, then adding just a little bit of animal food into your diet, meat and eggs, or hopefully liver, you're going to get so much more iron from just a small portion of the meat than you would get from the plants. Most dairy foods are not really that great of a source of heme iron. Definitely skim milk, low-fat milk, 2% milk, those are not going to give you much iron, if any, at all. Parmesan cheese and then all of the different goat cheeses are the best dairy options if you're trying to get iron from dairy. Now listen up, this is very important. If you have made an ethical or religious decision not to eat meat in your diet, that's okay, but here's what you've got to understand. If you're a poor absorber on the bell curve, then you're never going to correct your iron deficiency anemia unless you add in some kind of animal-based heme iron into your diet so that you can actually absorb it and your body can actually use it. This is what I call therapeutic meat, okay? Now, there are multiple examples where religions have made exemptions for people's health care. A good example is a Jewish rabbi has said that it's okay for Jews to use desiccated pork thyroid in the form of Armour, Nature, WP, Urfa thyroid because it's therapeutic. And so even though Jews are told not to eat pork, they can use this product because it has a therapeutic benefit that they perhaps can't get from the synthetic thyroid replacement hormones. So I want you to consider having a therapeutic meat exemption in whatever your ethical diet, vegan, vegetarian, whether it's just ethical or whether it's religious. You really need to think your health takes precedent over most other things in your life. If you're not healthy, if you're constantly fatigued and short of breath and considering eating the ice out of the inside of your freezer because you're so iron deficient, think how much more productive you would be. Think how much more successful you would be promoting things that you believe in, making money, taking care of your family, if you actually could get rid of those symptoms and get rid of your iron deficiency anemia. So I want you to really think about this and consider a therapeutic meat option. And not that you're going to enjoy the eggs or meat, not that you're going to proclaim that you're doing this, not that you're going to espouse this to other people. You're doing this for your health. And I think that is ethical and it makes very good sense to me. Now, you don't have to eat mammals to get your therapeutic meat treatment. You don't even have to eat things with faces, animals with faces. You could literally get your heme iron from clams, oysters, and mussels and from eggs. So you never had to eat anything with a face. And so I hope you understand I'm being very respectful. I understand you've made a choice ethically to not eat animals or to not eat mammals or wherever your line of ingestion happens to fall. And I respect that. But at the same time, I don't want you to suffer for the rest of your life with iron deficiency anemia or wind up having heart failure or wind up having to have blood transfusions because of this disabling iron deficiency anemia that you currently have. The most at-risk populations for developing iron deficiency anemia are children of all ages, reproductive age women, pregnant women, and then the elderly. These are the people most at risk for developing this, and these are the people that, regardless of what ethical decisions you've made about what you're going to eat or not eat, you really need to think about the therapeutic meat option in order to reclaim your health. People who are frequent blood donors can have this. Congestive heart failure patients can have iron deficiency anemia. People with gut conditions like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, celiac disease, or if you've had a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery, you are at increased risk for iron deficiency anemia. And even though you may not think it's ethical to consume animal products, I really think you should consider the therapeutic meat option. Another big population of people who suffer from iron deficiency anemia, and oftentimes they don't know why, and maybe even their doctor doesn't know, is people who take proton pump inhibitors like Acifex, Prevacid, Protonix, and Nexium. These block your stomach acid, and stomach acid is vital for the proper absorption of iron from your diet. And so if you're taking one of those pills and you've been iron deficient anemic and your doctor didn't know why, couldn't figure it out, that's probably why. In children, iron is absolutely mandatory for them to develop into their full potential as adults. And there are many parts of the world where there's just no animal food available, or religious rules prevent children from eating enough heme iron in animal-based products in order to not be iron deficient anemic. In the US and other modern societies, it's very common for a child to be an accidental vegan. And I've got a video about that. I'll have it pop up here, so that you can make sure that your child's not an accidental vegan. But that can lead to very severe iron deficiency anemia, and the doctor may not even be able to figure that one out either. I've included some research links in the show notes down below in case you want to do some further reading. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.